would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that.
So Charlie Kirk of TPUSA went on Gavin Newsom's podcast, and it was pretty interesting. Gavin Newsom's trying to position himself more moderate now, but we can never forget what he's done to the state of California. This guy's definitely running for president. Let's break it all down. Thanks for being here. Let's go. How's it going, everybody? Dave Medina here. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications, and make sure you follow me across all social media. That's at Dave Medina PDX on Instagram, Facebook. People still use Facebook. It's crazy. One of our videos is like up to 600K views. And also X and TikTok. TikTok's like the worst. If you want to know, if you're trying to start your pages out as a political commentator, TikTok's not, don't make TikTok your main platform. They're still conserving. They ain't conserving nothing except their agenda, right? No, they're still censoring over there. I'm so lame, dude. They're the worst at censoring out of all the social media platforms. And so we're just grateful to YouTube that we haven't been banned yet. So guys, Charlie Kirk, let me tell you something about Charlie Kirk. I love that dude. I don't care what anybody says about him. There's a lot on the right, people on the, not a lot, but there's some people on the right that don't like him. They don't like his pro-Israel views. They need to read their Bibles. But Charlie Kirk, man, he's the reason why I started speaking out in college when I was going to college. And he's the reason, him and Turning Point USA is the reason why I started speaking out and made this into a career of politics and political commentating and current events, all that kind of stuff, and just being a voice. So I have a lot to thank TPUSA for. They do really amazing work, and for some reason, Gavin Newsom went on the podcast. Oh, we need to zoom this in. Oh, I need to switch my screen. But Charlie Kirk went on Gavin Newsom, California Governor Gavin Newsom started a podcast. Everybody's starting a podcast these days, right? But Gavin Newsom started his own podcast, and I was wondering what kind of guests he'd have on. And right off the bat, man, he called in the most MAGA conservative talking head out there, that is Charlie Kirk, and all of his wisdom. Called him in for one of his first guests, and it's just so like I've watched this here, like a couple clips here and there. It's just so interesting, and it's actually really interesting that Gavin Newsom is trying to position himself as a moderate, even going as far as to saying that men being in women's sports is unfair. Then he tries to make some excuse, but we just can't forget some of the stuff that Gavin Newsom has done in his own state. He's made his state basically a sanctuary state for trans people. He signed off on a very radical Senate bill that passed in California that allowed children to basically get gender affirming care and for transgender people to have rights. Not saying that they shouldn't have rights. Listen, if you were an adult, you can do I don't care what you do with your life. I pray for you. I pray that you find truth. But if you want to identify as a different gender, that's on you, man. I don't agree with it, but I mean, people are adults and this is a free country, but when you're starting to target children, that's where I draw the line. And so this first clip here is is what I just talked about. It's Gavin Newsom saying that he doesn't think it's fair for men to be in women's sports. Where have you been the last 3 or 4 years, bruh?
So you right now should come out and be like, you know what? The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump.
I know people are like, you're pausing it too much. First of all, if you don't like me pausing it and you don't like my commentary, then this isn't the channel for you. You can go follow Thoughts for Your Thoughts Jazz Radio out there. You could go follow whoever else you want that will just play videos and sit there and go all day. Okay, I like commentary. I like talking. That's why you come here. Oh, this is why we don't read the comments. But I'm going to pause it because I think it's very important to point out. This is really important. You're going to be glad I paused it because I have to tell you this. You need to be asking this question, which is, why is Charlie Kirk crossing his legs so aggressively like this? Charlie, what's going on, dude? We don't do that on the right, okay? Just kidding. I love you, Charlie.
Female sports.
Right.
That shouldn't happen. You as the governor should step out say no.
No, and I appreciate.
But would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that. There's also a humility and a grace, that these poor people are more likely to commit suicide, have anxiety and depression. And the way that people talk down to vulnerable communities is an issue that I have a hard time with as well. So both things I can hold in my hand. How can we address this issue with the kind of decency that I think is inherent in you, but not always expressed.
So like you right now should.
You want to talk about decency, bruh? Why did you sleep around on your wife? Okay. You want to talk about decency? I'm sorry. I can't keep it on Charlie Kirk's cross legs. I'm sorry. I love Charlie Kirk to death. I will fight for him, but I can't have it on his cross legs, but I'm trying to make a point here. Gavin Newsom, you greasy slimeball, pathetic politician. Why are you all of a sudden positioning yourself as this moderate who cares about fairness? You don't care about fairness. California has some of the most radical pro-transgender, pro-kid transgender laws that you helped sign off on. You've helped create this movement. Why are you all of a sudden coming out and going, it's an issue of fairness? That's easy to call out. Yeah, you're trying to position yourself moderate so that you can get more of the electorate when you run for president in 2028. You're running. I mean, he's definitely running, and he's going to be a force. He's going to be a force. He's a very good politician. He's very, very good at communicating. He's very good at being that chameleon. It's exactly what he's doing right now, because let me tell you something. There are a lot of people out there that sat out of the election that are waiting for a savior to come to the Democratic Party. And it ain't going to be Jasmine Crockett and her eyelashes. It's going to be someone like this guy who knows how to play the game, who's going to have the Charlie Kirks on and confront them head on. So smart move by Gavin Newsom. He's still new scum though, like Trump likes to call him. And then from Benny Johnson, Charlie Kirk forces Newsom to admit Democrats are losing the media war and have a fear unscripted long-form podcast. Governor Newsom is coming out here and just saying, you guys are kicking our butt, which is so incredible because conservatives are literally the most censored, banned people on the internet until Elon bought Twitter. And now Mark Zuckerberg is starting to kind of like take off the grips, right? And I noticed it. My page on Instagram is starting to grow again. Well, we've been posting a lot, but I've noticed it's been a lot more free on Meta, on Facebook and Instagram. But here he is.
We're losing. We have this, I feel it's asymmetry of Donald Trump, Elon Musk sending out tweets, or you doing social media, and then me doing a 3-minute hit at 3:00 in the afternoon on CNN. I mean, how the hell do we compete?
Okay, can I just remind you, if you're Californian and you're watching this for some reason, especially if you're a moderate Democrat or something, can I remind you, this is the man, the LA fires happened because of this guy. This guy is responsible for dumping tons, millions of gallons of water that California naturally produces into the ocean. And they do it because of some little fish. They do it for some environmental purpose, for environmental reasons. Meanwhile, California could use that water. California could use clean water. And like we saw in the LA fires, he's just as responsible as Karen Bass for those LA fires. I don't know if you know that, but go talk to a farmer in California that is still, for some reason, they are farming. And they will tell you that this guy, that California could... California, and if Producer Vlad can look up California's GDP compared to the world, because I think they have like literally California's GDP and economy is actually bigger than some countries out there. But you go talk to a farmer and they will tell you that this guy dumps most of their natural water that the state produces, that their climate produces. He dumps it straight into the ocean for stupid environmental reasons. This guy's just as to blame as Karen Bass for the LA fires. Don't forget it. He's very good. This is why he's been such a successful politician. This is why he destroyed Ron DeSantis in their debate. He is very good at this. He's very good at talking. He is trying to appeal to the people on the right that don't like Donald Trump. He's trying to appeal to a certain group of people that he thinks he can get to vote for him when he runs for president one day, probably in 2028. I want you to notice how he's very good. He's a little snake oil salesman. But like I said on a post today, I want you to be very cognizant that actions speak louder than words. Go look at the bills and the laws, this guy, and how he's governed his state. Go look at San Francisco. Go look at LA, downtown LA. Go look at the home prices. Go look at the grocery prices. Go look at everything. Go look at how many businesses have left his state because of how he's running it. And we want him to run the country? Never forget, actions speak louder than words. Do not let this guy fool you.
into the wilderness with no rules and duel it out and see who's better or who's stronger. No, seriously. I mean, like what
Democrats can't.
What? No, I mean, like
we don't do it.
No,
You're right. We, for whatever reason, don't do it.
He's trying to appear agreeable, trying to appear reasonable. He's trying to appear, I'm telling you, actions speak louder than words. Do not let this guy fool you.
Forgotten America. You have to show them that you can intellectually joust with no script, no hard breaks, no producers in the ears, no teleprompters.
Love it.
That's where new media is going.
I can't be the only good person that sees through this snake oil salesman. I just can't be the only guy that sees through him.
Crazy.
A lot of people are going to see it. A lot of people are going to consume it because it's also politics and entertainment have begun to overlap.
Trump right now, they're holding him to account.
That's an important but separate meeting. Zelensky, just like a bunch of debate, like it.
Okay, well, somewhere, you guys get the point. Somewhere in there, he says we're losing. You dominate the media. We are toast. So, I mean, he is right on that. Is he being genuine about? Is that how he really feels? Maybe, I don't know. Gavin Newsom is such a narcissist that he can't help but gesture towards himself when he pays someone else a compliment. His pronouns are I, me, and mine. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, speaking of body language and body language and behavior and stuff. Okay, let's watch this.
Issue with the kind of decency that I think is inherent in you, but not always expressed.
Whoa.
Issue with the kind of decency that I think is inherent in you.
Oh wow!
But not always expressed.
That's a good pickup right there by Laura Powell Esquire on X. Wow, that ties in exactly. It's almost like producer Vlad was reading my mind when he was preparing this video. Also, Gavin Newsom says his son wanted to meet Charlie Kirk. So he says Gavin Newsom's son is a Charlie Kirk fan. This is awesome. I mean, this is just great.
Leave the house tonight, trying to put my son to bed. He's like, no, Dad, what time? What time's Charlie going to be here? What time? And I'm like, dude, you're in school tomorrow. He's 13. He's like, no. This morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, he literally would not leave the house.
That's awesome.
Did you let him take off school?
No, he did. Of course not. He's not here for a good reason. But the point is
you canceled school for like 2 years. One day.
The point is the point.
Oh, nice.
Which is
nice, Charlie. Yeah, you did through COVID. You were, remember how you were caught eating without masks, yet you were requiring everybody else to wear masks, including kids. You were canceling school. You were allowing vaccine mandates to go crazy in your state. Remember that, Gavin Newsom? Do not forget what this guy has done, man. I can't be the only one that sees through him. This guy says, and we got a million tabs here. Gavin Newsom, are there any Democrats you admire out there right now? Producer Vlad is sweating right now. I'm not mad at you, bro. I love that you're doing research and that you're preparing these in a good way. Charlie Kirk, sure. Bobby Kennedy tells us. So he's like, yeah. Is there any Democrats you admire out there? So he tells him Bobby Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, Director of National Intelligence and HHS Secretary Bobby Kennedy. Why are you laughing? Why are you smiling? Gavin Newsom said, because they're on our team now because you guys kicked out their best people.
Any Democrats you admire out there right now?
Democrats I respect. Bobby Kennedy I respect. Tulsi Gabbard.
Why are you laughing? Why are you smiling?
Because they're on our team now because you guys kicked out your best people. It's like the people that were into. This is a great point though, Governor. Is that Bobby Kennedy was a heterodox opinion on a thing that a lot of people were concerned about. Get him out. He's an anti-vaxxer. Yeah. Tulsi Gabbard, who was an anti-war. Get her out. She's a Russian agent. Yeah. Do you guys see how you have an unhealthy purification?
I really hope that Charlie Kirk is not being fooled by this guy right now, by his friendliness and his oh, that's interesting. That's interesting, right? That's interesting. With my hair, with my hair. Oh, that's interesting. He's all laughing and he's like, I don't know why I turned Gavin Newsom into Chinese Gavin Newsom, but you get my point is that he's really good at this. He's really good. If you ever meet a politician that you like, it means they're not genuine because they're good at being likable. That's what makes a good politician. But again, what am I going to say, Producer Vlad? Actions speak louder than words. Okay. All right. Making sure we're on the same page. And this one, Gavin Newsom defends his law that which protects teachers and allows them to keep secrets about a child's. Oh, so here we go. So he's actually kind of exposing himself.
You signed a law where school districts can't even tell parents if their kids are trans.
Not true.
Okay, then,
true.
Okay, then.
No, they can. They just can't get fired for not doing that. And it wasn't just trans.
Fired for not.
The law was explicit. Said you can't be fired.
What?
Reading the other
it's
way
not charitable.
So he just said, like.
He's like, we're not forcing them. We're just encouraging them. We're not making them do anything.
It's not about the money. It's about sending a message. I feel like I'm going crazy, dude. I don't know why I just turned into the Joker, but let me just tell Heath Ledger's Joker at that. Best Joker ever played. Do you realize what he just did? He literally is trying to slither his way out. No, that's not what the law says, right? Law doesn't say, it doesn't encourage kids to not tell their parents. It just makes it so that teachers can't get fired if they withhold it from the parents. What? I can't do it. I got to get it off of this. I can't listen to much more of him. I thought this was a pretty cool clip. This is when he challenged, Charlie Kirk challenged Gavin Newsom over cleaning up the streets for Winnie the Pooh, aka Xi Jinping, when the China leader visited San Francisco. They cleaned up the streets. It was pretty incredible.
Why is it you were able to clean it up for Xi Jinping, but you can't clean it up?
Guys, that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. By the way, you guys weaponized that.
Governor, with all due respect, I saw a beautiful picture of San Francisco that looked like Singapore.
By the way,
and then Xi Jinping leaves, and the Walking Dead come back.
By the way, California is not San Francisco, but I am the governor of California, not the mayor of California, not the mayor of San Francisco.
You were the mayor.
So this is what you would get with the President Newsom right here. This is what you would get. Well, I'm not the governor of Texas or Arizona, so I can't really do anything about the border, right? Like you're seeing what it's going to look like. A President Newsom's going to look like. That is the most insane comment I've ever seen a governor make. Well, I'm not the governor. I'm not the mayor of a city in my own state, so I don't really have any control. You're the governor. You're the governor. How can you, dude? I'm putting too much brain cells towards this, and they're all dying on contact as every time this guy speaks. And then Charlie Kirk just cooked Gavin Newsom. There's a whole transcript. How did he cook him?
How about the book ban stuff? On a serious note, 4,240 books or titles, libraries and schools are banned in 2023. Is that not as a conservative?
Well, it depends. I mean, I think we can both agree pornography should not be taught to 9-year-olds.
Fair point.
Okay.
Fair. Does that include the Bible?
Well, I wouldn't say the Song of Solomon is porn.
No, but I think some have made that point. Is that a fair point?
I don't think that's fair
and as
at
a man
all.
of faith, and I deeply admire that about you.
There he is.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah.
What? Listen, this is why you come to me, because I'm going to expose these kind of people because I know them and I've been screwed by them in my life. I know a narcissist and a self-serving person that is literally full of crap. I can spot them from a mile away. I can spot them out in the real world. There's guys at my gym. There's guys that are in my political world that I just don't mess with. I won't make enemies, but I just don't mess with them. And they know I don't mess with them because I don't kiss their butt like everybody else because I see through them. There's some people in the world you can just see through. And it's so crazy because everybody else doesn't see through them. And you're wondering if you're the crazy one. No, you're not the crazy one. You see through them. This guy, do you see this guy? You're a man of faith and I admire that. Yeah, every law that you almost every law, these crazy laws that you're passing is completely against what Charlie Kirk and I believe. But he admires it?
Again, the Song of Solomon is rather risque.
No, it's
but what we're talking about in these books is not just the words, it's also the images.
You see how he's not talking about the specific issues that Charlie's bringing up. He's just taking it to a broader level. That's how you deflect. He's a master deflector.
Do you think moms are doing that? Do you think it's because they want to have mind control, or do you think that they have come across incident of highly provocative material?
I love moms, but this moms, we don't have to get into moms for.
Do you think it's highly provocative material? You think these moms are, I love moms. I just love moms. I mean, he's good and people will fall for that. Do you guys now see what I'm talking about? I hope that you've watched this in the entirety because I literally pointed this out at the beginning of this video. And as soon as I put that lens on you and you watch them through the lens that I'm putting on you, I'm telling you, it's so much more easy to spot. Look at this.
I think
they have come across incident of highly provocative material.
I love moms, but this moms, we don't have to get into Moms for Liberty. It seems
you brought up the book bans,
deeply organized for a larger agenda, but that's my
just talking in broader strokes, bro. This is what this guy does. Gavin Newsom, last clip, says, asks Charlie Kirk, doesn't believe he's not a raging alcoholic like him. Charlie Kirk says, I don't drink. Oh, you don't? What happened? A couple of years ago, you stopped. Why'd you stop? I just wanted to be more successful. Charlie Kirk said, that's awesome. Some reactions from around the online world. Riley Gaines says that he says the unfairness is easy to call out, Here, let's put this on this screen. He says the unfairness is easy to call out, but I've literally never seen him call the unfairness out. He literally says it's easy to call out the unfairness of men and women's sports, but he literally, it's the first time he's ever said it. So if it's so easy, why is it the first time you're saying it? Newsom is trying to seem more centered in this interview, but he's still far left to the core. 100% actions speak
louder than words.
I like it. There we go. Drew Hernandez Live says, if you honestly believe Gavin Newsom is distancing himself from the Democrat Party to become more right-wing, you're an absolute epitard. I've told you to take that out. We can't say that stuff on YouTube. Dave Portnoy says, question 2, why were you in China playing hoop against little kids when you're the governor of California? Question 3, is the kid who took the charge dead? Was he really? Oh my gosh, I forgot about. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He grabbed him.
The kid.
Oh my gosh, he's like, oh yeah, you'd be great in California. You'd be great. You'd have been great with my friend Epstein. No, I'm just kidding. Democrats are sick, and well, I know that child is. Little do you know, that child was on his 17th day of work. They actually let him out recess play basketball for a little bit with the governor of California. How nice of them. How nice of Xi Jinping. Democrats are sick and won't protect children. Fact. This guy says Democrats got obliterated last year via podcast, so now Gavin Newsom has started his own. We're losing young men. They scream out, here's the truth. Your ideas are garbage, and long-form discussions only highlight that fact. You are cooked. He did a great job of dancing around the issue. Yep, that's exactly who he is. Charlie's a wordsmith, and this is the result. Nice. Gavin Newsom is trying to moderate himself to run for POTUS in 2028. The left wants to cancel him for talking to conservatives. Best case scenario, couldn't draw it up better. California has spent $37 billion on housing and homelessness since Gavin. Got to remember though, Gavin Newsom's the governor of California. He's not the mayor of all the cities. He's not in charge of all the cities. He's just the governor, right? He's just the number one. He's just in charge of the whole state. California has spent $37 billion on housing and homelessness since Gavin Newsom took office. The result, record levels of homelessness. But keep up the podcasting, Gov. I'm sure the problem will sort itself out eventually, says Jim Stanley out of California. You had some stats for us. Did you have those stats about California's economy?
Yeah, so the California GDP is actually the 5th largest in the world. It's only behind the US, China, Germany, and Japan. But they have the highest GDP per capita than any country in the world. So they basically have one of the strongest economies in the world than any other country, including us, based on the amount of people they have. It's insane.
Yeah, they have record homelessness. Horrible. Yeah, they still have high crime, high taxes. Businesses are leaving like crazy. Talk to somebody that lives in California and especially Southern California and ask them how they're doing. I mean, like go. You know what? Go look at house prices in Southern California. Go look at what you can get for $700,000 to $1 million. You'll be shocked. And then what is this?
You have to watch the first one.
I can't do it. Hey, like and subscribe to the channel. Do not vote for Governor Newsom for president in 2028. He's probably running. Like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me at Dave Medina PDX on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X. Really appreciate you joining me. For producer Vlad, you have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.